Hi, I've had some lovely feedback from someone who's done quite a few of the my bar chord lessons, which was very nice to hear. Thank you very much. But they did mention that they were feeling a real strain on their wrist from having to curve under to play the bar chords. And so the first thing I asked was whether they're trying to look at what they're doing. Because looking at your own fretboard tends to tilt the whole uke upwards, and so looking down at the frets, have a look at how much bend I have in my wrist, trying to play the bar as well. So there's quite a lot of strain there. Now if I make it flatter so that the hole's pointing out and not up, much flatter, and I'll keep that position. See how straight that is now? Before my wrist was bent, and now it's virtually not bent at all. It's just bending where my fingers are bending. So I've taken all that strain off my wrist. And similarly, what some people might be doing is holding the neck very low as well. That's not going to affect the wrist so much, but it might affect your hand, how much it rotates. So trying to play some chord positions right down here. I tend to hold the guitar or uke very horizontal for these videos because it makes it easier for you to see them, and if it's comfortable for me. But you might find it more comfortable to angle it right up, and then you can reach some of these chord shapes, and it's not as much strain on your hand. So experiment with that as well. Experiment with, definitely stop angling it up, try and angle it out and flatten your wrist. And then maybe think about how much you have to tilt it up and down. If you find you really have to look at what you're doing, I mean, maybe like I'm looking at an iPad camera right now and I can see my own image back, or you can use a mirror. But you probably don't need to look as much as you think you do. You can still see what you're doing pretty well with the body facing outwards. I've also heard somebody say that they find it easier to play standing up with a strap maybe, or rather than sitting down. And it could be because when you are standing up, it's the uke is naturally going to be in a more forward facing and upright position. And when you're sitting down in your lap, the temptation is for it to drop and slump and angle up again, and then you've got this curved wrist problem. So it makes it much harder to hold bar chord shapes. There's already some strain in your fingers without this extra strain in your upper arm and your wrist. So if you ever feel like you're straining your arm and wrist, stop, shake it out. Don't try and push through. And then change the angle of the uke. Play around with your body position and the position of the uke to minimize the effort on your wrist, so the only effort is that of holding the bar and the chord fingering, not any unnecessary stretching or rotating. This might not be a problem for many of you, but if you do find that you're experiencing any wrist or muscle strain, do check to see that you've not been trying to look at what you're doing too much, and whether that's the cause of any overstretching. All right, relax. Make it easy, and eventually you'll find you don't have to look at all. Good luck.